So I got the news yesterday on my social media that Bob Barker has passed away at the age of 99, just 4 months shy, well, less than 4 months shy of his 100th birthday. One thing about Bob Barker is that he is definitely a TV icon, especially in the game show world. And it doesn't matter which generation he was, baby boomers, Gen X, millennial. You had 2 sick days from school when you spit with Bob Barker. Even if you wasn't a game show fanatic, there was at least 1 or 2 days you were sick and you had to stay home from school, whether your parents had to watch you or you were shipped out to your guardian's house, your grandparents' house. You watched Price is Right one of those days. You know, that's how much of an impact he had. And this one really does hurt because, like I said, I grew up a big fan of The Price is Right. I grew up a big fan of Bob Barker. He just was just so he was just so iconic, man. It's like, and when he retired for The Price is Right in 2007, whoever came in to fill in for Bob Barker was going to have some really big shoes to fill. And Drew Carey came in, and Drew Carey's still on the show today. Is he Bob Barker? No, but he's not trying to be Bob Barker. He's also paid respects to the man that he is followed. So yeah, Bob Barker, born in 1923. Um, Obviously part of the war and all that back in the 40s. Before he started selling in the TV in the 50s, I think the first show he done, because it was not The Price is Right. The first show he done was Truth and Consequences back in the late 50s, and he was on it for a good little minute. And obviously, The Price is Right was around in the 50s and early 60s, but it was a different format at the well, same format, but it was just different. Then Price is Right went off the air. Then it revamped itself in 1972. It was called The New Price is Right at the time because it was revamped. Then they dropped the word nude off. And who was the guy who started hosting the show in 72? No other than Bob Barker. Hosted the show for 35 years, y'all. That is a long time to blessing because a lot of people don't host any type of shows for a long time. So, now I will give Pat Sajak some props. Though he is retiring, he's been on the Wheel of Fortune since the early '80s. So he's been in that circuit for over 40 years. So very rare you're gonna get a person that can host a show for as long as he did, man. As long as any of them did. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be missed. I'm sure a lot of people who grew up on The Price is Right, especially during the Bob Barker era, they're gonna be binge watching a lot of Price is Right shows. Regardless of the '70s, '80s, '90s, early 2000s, because it was definitely no one like him, definitely. And the one thing that a lot of people will remember best about Bob Barker is that after the end of each episode, he has a saying. Bob Barker reminded you to help control the pet population, have your pet spayed or neutered. And I feel like a lot of people took that to heart when he started saying that. And I think lots of pet owners really began to neuter and spay their pets, just because Bob Barker reminded y'all to control the pet population. He was very serious about that. But yeah, he had his funny moments on the show. Um, when I was a kid, it was like I would say like somewhere in the '90s. Um, one of the females was spinning the wheel and she did it backwards. And Bob Barker said, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And the lady's like, "I just wanted to be different." Okay, you succeeded. Now spin it the right way. Oh my god, that was just so hilarious. And then I think 2006, it was like close to the end of his tenure. Uh, it was during the actual showcase, and somebody bid 11,990. No, no, no. Somebody bid 12,000. The actual retail price for that showcase was 11,999, and this, and he was like, and you just saw him be so animated, like, no, she was over by a single dollar. It never in the history of the Price is Right has this ever happened. And I'm sorry, you just happened to be the first that has done it. Yeah, but yeah, he's definitely gonna be missed. And it's just one of those. You know, you are gonna be able to move on with your life. You're not gonna forget spending certain weekday mornings with that guy. On watching him on TV. It just, it's like the distant uncle, the distant grandfather. You had that attachment to him because I can tell, and I hear from my age range, even up to Generation X. You know, you just spend your sick days with Bob Barker or with the Young and the Restless slash Bold and the Beautiful slash Guiding Light, those soap operas. I didn't care for soap operas. Tried to get into it, just didn't care for it. The cartoons during the daytime were becoming babyish. It just really was nothing on during the daytime like that. So I think that played a part of me getting into game shows. I remember, um, to tell the truth, I remember when Family Feud used to be on in the morning with Louis Anderson. This is back when I was coming up. It was just a simpler time, and I spent a lot of weekdays with him during the summertime. That's for sure. While I was out of school, so it's definitely one of those icons, man. So yeah, rest in peace to you, Bob Barker. You will be missed. I don't have pets. I did have one when I was 8. That experiment did not go well, but like to anyone out there, I will make sure they help control the pet population moving forward. I make sure they'll continue to spay and neuter their pets. Save the pets, y'all. That's what Bob Barker wants. And I'm sure he's gonna look down on Drew Carey and say, just keep the show afloat, man. You know, don't let it drift away. You still got that devoted audience, and keep them entertained. Keep the prices right on top. Number one as far as game shows. Don't let the competition overrule you. Rest in peace, Bob Barker.